Guitar Friends episode. It depends on how we edit this. It could be 20 or 21. We're unsure.
My.
But
My
now
mind.
they can see the number.
My, how far we've come. Yeah. All right, dudes, we've been walking around NAMM the last couple of days. Let's just get it out of the way. Best of NAMM. I'll go first. I have, we're going to show it right now on the screen. This is a beautiful new product that I'm super excited about. And it is a 10-inch. It's called Octave, the sound of everything. A 10-inch touchscreen. And all the computer part is built just beneath it. So it's like, it looks like a thick iPad. But with ins and outs, touchscreen, it runs VSTs. Windows 11 based VSTs. We've been talking about this product.
Yeah.
And then it has
on our wish
a
list.
USB cable. So all the ins and outs. It's like an ultra thick iPad. It's like 3 or 4 iPads thick, but one 10-inch touchscreen on the front. Mm-hmm. Ins and outs, USB down to a... Right now, they're doing it free, I guess, if you buy the unit. It's a free 6-button controller. MIDI controller.
So it takes up a lot of real estate. I mean, it's like a big unit.
I mean,
right?
maybe MIDI. It's just via USB in the software natively. Whatever. You got a controller. You probably can do MIDI, and I don't know how it connects exactly.
Well, that's how you control VSTs.
Yeah. So
that's how you...
Yeah. Is this the product we've been...
Did you get the feeling like you would run it on a pedal board, or it's more like with a controller, this is your whole rig?
So it felt like the controller can be at your feet, and that thing could maybe be on a mic stand, or it has the ins and outs. So you might just put that on the floor too. It looked like the ins and outs and the touchscreen. Imagine just a quad cortex, but you expand the touchscreen to be almost the whole thing, but it's a little smaller than a quad cortex. Right. But it feels like about that size. So I think you could put it in like the top corner of your pedal board. And you might be a little like careful with this.
I was going to ask, how robust is this? Right. A computer on your pedal board.
Aftermarket, someone's going to make an otter style case for it because everyone does screen protectors for all the other units. Yeah. So you just get a protector that exposes.
I don't know.
But you get a unit that exposes.
But I never put a case on my phone. So why would I put a case on this?
You're playing.
But your
with
phone
fire,
doesn't run. No, but your phone. Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. I see.
No, my thought was like
really
you would have it
Maybe
kind of like
mounted
people always have computers on the stage. It's like up and somewhere where you're not going to step on it.
Yeah, iPads every week.
And then MIDI. You know what I mean?
The only issue with that is the ins and outs are built onto it. So if you want to go in and out, it feels like then you'd have to elevate all your ins and outs.
Yeah, but think about like the 4-cable method on an amp with an effects loop. You've got your pedal board and you've got pedal
That's true. The ins and outs go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a solved problem.
Yeah.
I would put it up on the stage or like up on something else, and then with the MIDI controller, that would be
my mic stand has an iPad holder. This feels a little maybe heavy, but a similar thing to that where it's just right there and I can touch it. And
how are they demonstrating it? What was on there?
NAMM is on there, and I think there were some. I didn't see any other VSTs, but NAMM is on there. So they're like, "Hey, run your favorite open source capture thing, Helix Native, Valhalla, do whatever you want."
What was Did they have the price on it or no?
I didn't see.
You didn't ask.
We'll go. Well, I know. Sorry.
We gotta ask.
We have more days at NAMM.
One more day.
At least
one
two,
more day.
Or one.
What was you guys' best of NAMM? That's my best.
I'll probably go with Novo guitars. I've played them before,
Best of NAMM.
and I just at NAMM, one of the nice things is that you can play like 20 guitars back to back. Just pick one up, pick one up, pick one up. You're all day long. You're picking up guitars. As soon as I held it and played a G chord, I was like, "Dang, that's good, man! That's so good." So. Yeah, I played a couple new ones that are like, one was like an offset with like an F-hole, Frailing P90s, tremolo system, killer.
Which one was your favorite one, Suze?
Probably that one.
The purple, like offset.
Yeah.
Like almost looked like it was like black sparkle or something, but it was
totally.
deep purple. Okay.
And they're humongous. It's just you feel like a beast playing these things. So anyway,
Yeah, I like that.
The price is prohibitive, but anyway, best of NAMM so far for me.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what the best of NAMM is. I was most impressed by the booth for Cream guitars out of Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the pink neon. They've got a guitar that's made with tiny rubber duckies.
They got some crazy stuff. It looks like crushed flowers in there.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even play it. I mean, I think I strummed one chord.
Yeah,
but it's like just the level of like, I don't know, creativity on it was like,
and they did
awesome.
Something great for NAMM too, where like I had never heard of them in my life.
Right.
And I walked up and instantly was like, I love this company.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
I only found out about them last year. They were doing some similar stuff, but it was a much smaller booth. Now they've really blown it up into
Yeah.
a big experience kind of thing.
Yeah, they had the one guitar. We were like, did that guitar just change colors? It has like the e-ink from like a
Yeah.
Kindle.
Yeah.
And it's just flopping back and forth
Yeah.
between like a gray and like a lighter.
So unnecessary, but awesome.
So unnecessary. And it weighed 1,000,000 pounds because it was made out of aluminum. But yeah.
That's right.
Totally impractical, but double neck.
Oh my gosh, it's
You know what I
25 pounds.
I mean, it's
Aluminum
like-
double
Right.
neck.
He's stuck
What's
on the double
What's the
neck.
time? How long did that take to work in?
Right, totally.
Under 10 minutes.
As long as it comes with
Yeah.
free chiropractic care, I think you'd be all right.
Wait, can
Yeah.
we just insert clip here? Okay, anyway, best of NAMM, Addison.
Ooh, I haven't seen a whole lot because I've been seeing a bunch of people. Like I just been talking with people a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the highlight for me is seeing people. If I had to pick a thing, probably the Aguilar bass pedal rebrand.
Okay.
So like, if you guys do you remember? You know what the tone hammer looks like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So all of their pedals were these like kind of they weren't very pedal board friendly, and the jacks like you had to use some of the oldest ones, not the ones before what they just rebranded to, but you had to use like straight plugs before that. And they went to these like tall, they're like, I don't know, too tall. They're not pedal board friendly. Anyways, so they've rebranded entirely, same circuits and stuff. It's like really cool artwork, very like streamlined and simple. It spoke to me. The artwork spoke to me.
Is that when you
those are
slapped
really cool.
the bass?
That's not. No, I didn't slap the bass on
Okay,
that.
all right, just
it was another booth that I
triple
slapped the
checking
bass
on
on.
that. Heard a lot of slap bass.
Thanks for that's yeah. Is that the set we were talking? This is the sound of NAMM, right?
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
what do you think of when?
Yeah, if
when
you're
you think of-
blindfolded and it's like you hear slap bass, it's like, oh, I know where I am.
I'm at NAMM.
Yeah, this is NAMM.
Yeah.
Can I just go back and give honorable mention? Because this is a little unfair. The Kemper player
Yeah,
is
yeah.
technically a new item for NAMM,
Yeah.
so that would get my best of NAMM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it already came out and is now sold out.
Right.
So it feels like it didn't come out at NAMM. It feels like it came out before NAMM, and it feels like this is the first NAMM that they're showing it. I
Yeah.
think, but it is technically, I think, within the proximity, it's only been out for.
Yeah.
It feels like a
No, but it really does feel like not an old
It came
product,
out.
but it feels like
yes.
we expected to see it.
And we've seen
It wasn't
We've seen it.
surprising.
We've seen videos.
Yeah.
People have them and are playing them. They're out in the wild. So I'll just put that as my caveat. That would be my best of NAMM by far.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm playing one and I dig it and I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
really surprised by the size. I hadn't seen it yet. It's
Yeah.
smaller than I thought
Yeah,
it was,
it
which
is.
was
Me
like
too.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's cool.
And it's like flatter.
Yeah.
than I thought that was my
Right.
experience. I was like, whoa, look how flat that is.
Yes.
Okay. Worst of NAMM. Anyone want to go first on this? Worst
I'll go
of
first.
NAMM. Are you gonna steal mine?
I probably not. I was very excited about the Boss IR 200. I was like, man, this thing is cool, or the IR 2, both of them. I was like, this thing's cool. The size is awesome. Like a lot of people putting on boards, loving it. I mean, John too, and I walked up and played it, and I was like, this might be the worst tone I've had all day. I mean, all day. Like, and that's just playing through like little like amps I can barely hear with like bad overdrives. My statement to you, John, was after I walked away from the booth, if that was the only electric guitar sound that I had at my disposal, I would go to
Oh.
acoustic. I would quit electric
you
guitar.
would stop playing guitar
I'm
altogether.
saying it was bad.
Now, it's not that I disagree with you. I just don't understand the level to which you're getting.
Right.
Because I was like, because you were playing one and I was playing the other.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is terrible. This sounds so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, play this. I think it's all right. And you just one strum and you're like, nope, it's not cutting it for
oh,
me.
man.
He
Maybe
had
it
like a
was-
higher expectation. He was
that
expecting
was
a lot
it.
from the height.
That was it.
Maybe that's what it
You
is.
know?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I want to check these out. And I
Right.
was, like
Okay.
ran over and put the headphones
I
on.
think a lot of the expectation on that unit comes from I hear people very excited about it. I don't hear anyone pointing out that there's nothing new in this pedal other than the form factor. Every sound in there was in the big one, and there has not been a resounding. And that's been out. The IR 2000, I think it's called
The 200.
the 200, the
bigger
bigger
one,
unit.
yeah.
And that
Wait, that one came out first?
yeah,
Last
that's
year.
been out for years.
It's been around,
I think it's been
yeah.
for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it's. I've never heard anyone go, "This is the end all be." It hasn't been in the conversation. So this is a change in form factor, and that is exciting, and it looks cool. Boss has great looking pedals. It's cool. It
Yeah.
feels like very accessible. We're all used to it. But because I didn't hear anyone hype it then, it makes me think. So the sounds are probably good. They're probably fine. I've actually heard some people say the like custom Boss sound, like what they call like clean amp, is like better than the deluxe or the this or the that.
I mean,
like that's one
yeah.
of people's favorites.
I will say, I understand it a bit though, because on that pedal board was like a bunch of overdrive pedals. It had like
Yeah.
the Blues Driver, and it had
That's
the
a good
only one that I thought sounded good was the yellow one, the OD1.
Yeah, right.
And like
Maybe I
with
didn't give it a fair shake.
but the sound that you heard from when I handed you the guitar,
Yeah.
that was the best I could make it.
Uh-oh.
I thought it wasn't bad. I mean, it
Yeah.
was like, an Epiphone Les Paul. It's like NAMM is one of the weirdest
That's true.
places.
Did I
to,
really
like,
experience
Yeah,
it?
you really
Yeah.
didn't.
Okay.
I think, but
But my shattered dreams, man.
yeah.
Worst of NAMM.
I don't know if worst of NAMM is the right thing, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
What's
gonna.
yours then?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Oh gosh,
Prove me wrong here.
There's so, I was talking. Was I talking to you? And I was like, you might get the sense that you know how much gear there is. Like you might. Before you go, you might get the sense like, yeah, I'm pretty aware of everything
Yeah,
that's
I'm in the
available.
know.
No, you're not.
You're not in the know.
You're not. There's whole halls that are like, I've never heard or seen any of this stuff. And a lot of it is, there's, when you hear it, you're like, well, that's why I've never heard of it.
I just heard-
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I just heard Anthony from Texas Blues Alley post on like a line. He was like, Hall E is like an alternate universe. You go in there and there's all these Chinese companies you never heard of, and they make 30 pro audio products, Neve clones, like 10 mics,
Right.
modeled after stuff. They make boards. They make everything. It's like
Yeah.
you've wandered into an alternate Marvel universe where
It really
the brands
is.
we know don't exist,
Right.
and instead, Shai Pao Manufacturing is the UA.
I took a picture. I took a picture of one of the signs. It literally just said China on top of it.
We saw Germany there too. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Germany thing was like, oh, here's like all the German companies together.
Yeah.
This was like one booth, and it just said
said China.
China,
That was
and then
their
like
brand.
music, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
wow, this is
Right, it's like the UN of tone over there.
Wow. It really is. Yeah. Little
My-
Italy.
Yeah, it was really weird.
My worst of NAMM, and I hesitate to give this worst of NAMM, so I'm going to give it a really loose worst of NAMM. And this is something maybe I need to give another, like a fair shake to. The Yamaha Pacificas we played were overwhelmingly underwhelming. Now,
Interesting.
I'm going to point this out. I'm going to really criticize them for this. I don't know if I played the new guitar they're talking about.
Right.
And the issue is they're going, check out this new Pro Pacifica. And I went and played them, and I went, meh, all of these I do not like. I leave the booth, and a friend of ours Brian tells us, oh no, it's extremely confusing. There's a new Japanese and new Indonesian imports, which are not really new. They're just like new colors and a different spec.
Right.
They look the exact same, and there's no way to tell them apart unless you read the little fine print and you
Right.
look on the back of the headstock for a mark that says Made in Japan. Other than that, same color, same pickup, same everything.
Not great.
So I'm just going,
Super confusing.
my worst of NAMM, I'm not going to give it to that product. I'm going to give it to this display and this rollout of two seemingly identical products,
Right.
in which one of them is your Pro Series Made in Japan, and that's the selling point.
Right.
But it is almost indistinguishable from some other one, to the point that I went to go try it out and had no idea that was even happening.
Right. Wow.
And you know what the difference is? There's a plus. It's the same name. I can't even
Yeah.
remember. It's the Yamaha
And
Pro, Standard Pro. And if it has a plus symbol, that's the one that you pay way more for.
No, the Plus is the one that's cheaper. The Plus is the import, and the Pro
See,
one.
we still don't even
Stop.
know.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah,
that's,
that's
that's what I'm
terrible.
saying. Yes.
This
That's
feels
so
like
bad.
Taco Bell. It's like, do you want a double-decker Supreme or a Supreme double beef? It's like there are too many. You could just convince. You could way mix these up.
We're at 14 minutes and 55 seconds. I just want to point out that's how long it took to get
get
to
to
Taco
Taco
Bell,
Thank
to make a gear
you.
comparison with
The
Taco
difference,
Bell.
the difference is that mistake at Taco Bell will cost you like $3.60.
Not $2,000.
Yes, not $2,000. This could cost you $2,000. And so, as someone who has made all the effort to go try to form an opinion,
Right.
I can't. I have not been able to. So,
I'll
no
say
thanks.
also the worst at NAMM, and not to really hate on Yamaha here, but it took 4 Yamaha people to get that rig to even work.
We did have a very yes, okay.
And we ended up, it was like everything was wireless to begin with, and we ended up cutting out most of everything on the board
Yes.
and going all wired stuff.
I couldn't get any, like yeah.
And then I tried that little Yamaha, like, the little practice amp that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Also
Yeah.
not great.
Okay, in fairness to line
So.
6, that feels like Yamaha going, hey, great, you're going to set this up. Please only use our new Yamaha Bluetooth headphones and our new relay thing and our new Yamaha this. Our
Right.
new, it's like all the product places like, I don't care. This is the star of the show. Stop detracting from it.
But the problem was, it's like they're upstairs. They have their own thing. They like scan your badge when you even walk in. It's like they're setting themselves up to be like a premium experience.
Yes.
And it was one of the most disorganized experiences.
I will
had
say,
at NAMM,
I will say,
so.
trying to see a new guitar that they're producing, which it is a Yamaha guitar, but in my head it's like a Line 6 guitar. It does. The experience is diluted for me as a player when I go in and have to walk by a bunch of grand pianos and there's a giant stage and there's a. It does take away a little bit. I would like to see them just in the guitar hall. I would take the. I think from a branding standpoint, I would take the guitar far more seriously if they had bought a 10x10 booth downstairs in addition to the big Yamaha experience upstairs and said very clearly, here's our new Japanese custom whatever shop thing.
Right.
It's awesome. Check it out. Upstairs we got everything.
It seems like
The
they
full
should have
line.
made a bigger deal about it.
But downstairs, yeah.
Yeah.
Get a Yamaha Pacifica. Boom, here it is. 5 of them, amps, Marshall, Vox, whatever. Like, put it next to the iconic Piers if you want it to be taken as seriously as a Fender custom shop. That's what I would do. If I was the marketing person, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
While we're on Yamaha, I owe you Taco Bell. They did not come out with the Amp 1
Yes.
pedal.
No,
So
no.
let it be.
HX amp.
circle.
Let it be
No,
known.
HX.
I'm here
Yeah.
for this one.
Yes,
We
you
get
were
to
there.
tell the
No,
world.
no HX amp.
I lost that bet.
Yeah. We don't have it.
I have
yeah.
a most disappointing, and it's more of a general observation about NAMM, which no one's going to be surprised by. It's a bit similar to yours, but I'm disappointed by, I'm real into pedals, right? I love pedals. I'm kind of disappointed by the some of the choices I think that people made for direct units for people to play stuff.
Yes.
and I'm like, this is like people are like playing your pedals. You're like. Meeting
they make an
people.
overdrive or a
exactly,
reverb or
yes.
whatever.
and they're just not showed off very well.
Because they're running into
Yes.
a model or what are you
Exactly.
seeing on the floor that you're not really enjoying the sound of?
Iridiums, I'm not
So
a
people are all the guys
Yes.
at the pedal booths are
Right.
running their stuff into Iridiums. And
Yes. Yeah. And there's ACS ones too, which I'm just going to be frank. I haven't played the new firmware update. I wasn't impressed by firmware 1, version 1. I've heard it's like a huge upgrade. And people get good tones out of them. But I'm just like, man, you get like one opportunity,
Yes,
as
you came
Eminem
all this
would say.
way.
Exactly. Right. There's like
Yeah.
a lot of money spent. And I go, there actually is like some better option. To me, I'm like, why don't you have 2 Tone X's and a little headphone amp?
Right.
Or like a Kemper. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's
totally.
there's some better
Yeah.
options to showcase your
They
stuff.
probably would have had a Kemper player, but they're sold out.
Okay, well, yeah,
it
that's
does feel
fair.
like
That's fair.
It
Yeah.
does feel like
one
the
up there.
Iridium. It feels like the Iridium has become standard operating procedure
Yes, and
at
I
that
go-
at that like delicious audio.
Yeah, yeah.
gathering of all of the boutique pedal people.
Yeah.
And what's the saying, Suze? I tried it at NAMM.
So I've never heard it.
So I've
okay.
never tried it at all.
Yeah.
I
This
will
is,
say-
I'm a NAMM baby, so now I know
Yeah.
this.
But this is, but that is,
Right.
it's
That's
that.
the
It's
hard
is
Right.
disappointing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we at the Kernom booth. How do we decide to pronounce that? Kernom.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So it's like they make an overdrive pedal and a fuzz pedal, and it's like digital, analog digitized or something like that. I don't know.
You got like presets and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you
I
can
think.
make
Yeah,
presets
yeah.
and everything. And I played it once through an amp, and I was like, man, this sounds awesome. And I was with Nick with Worship Tutorials, and he was like,
yeah.
man, that sounds great. And I was like, yeah. Then we went and we played it through the headphones, and I was like, oh, it doesn't sound quite as good. And you even asked, because they didn't even have it, literally just had headphones. You're like, what is this even plugged into?
So that's
Yeah.
the other thing.
Yeah,
It's
where
like,
am I
yeah.
going?
and it was like, oh, it's a quad cortex. It's
Yeah.
like, but playing what? Like, I have no point of reference
Such a
here.
good
Yeah.
point,
You know?
Yeah, it does. Like as you say that, I think back how many things that I tried through headphones and I know nothing about the headphones.
Right.
They can be. They're,
Good
you know,
point.
they might
Yeah.
just
Oh my
sound
gosh,
terrible.
Totally.
You
Yeah.
walk away going, that pedal sounded bad.
But
But it could have been
yeah.
anything. There's so many
It's
variables.
most likely not the pedal.
Yeah.
Truly, it's most
Totally.
likely.
It's probably
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Things at the end of the chain have more of an effect. And
Yes,
The headphones are a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, and it feels like there needs to be some adjustment. Look, it's so hard to see things and hear things at NAMM. I mean, we end up doing. There's a Kemper video of the new Kemper effects, and we have to be intentional about. We got to get the direct audio, or else what's the point? Because even when you're doing the demos, you can't really hear it.
Oh, yeah.
You listen back to those clips, and I go, well, it sounds awesome, and it sounded awesome there, but it sounds different.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
you're in a loud hall and it's moving. You're not centered in the speakers.
Well, but even, and it's so funny too, because even at the booth, when you're standing there while Nate's playing, it's like, man, this sounds great, and it's
Yes.
loud and it's all of that.
Yeah.
But when you listen back to the video,
But also, there's a guy shredding.
exactly,
Literally. And there
Right.
is, right? Like, while you were doing that demo, there's someone doing a showcase at the Tonex stage, and the
Right.
speakers are pointed at us. They're 15 feet away, and they're
Right.
probably 6,000 watt speakers.
They did that on
right?
purpose.
And they're just
I heard it.
Totally.
Right, so Susan's like trying to play. We're like trying to listen to this tremolo and this sort of dialing in the reverb. And it's like,
Yeah, totally.
It's just, it's NAMM.
That's NAMM. That's
That
NAMM.
is so NAMM. Someone's
know what's-
like banging a cymbal.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the other's
Yeah.
like trumpets.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is this is like totally off topic
Yeah.
here, but when people say like, "Oh man, I want to see Nashville Broadway," that's what I get the same vibe at NAMM as I do walking down
Yes.
Broadway. It's you're hearing too much music all at the same time, and none of it. It's too disorienting for me, you know. So I can only take NAMM. Like I literally can only be in that building for like an hour and a half at a time.
Yeah. I do have one like big speculation. This is not best or worst. This could be best and worst of NAMM. I would put it on
a
either
combo.
list. Here is the Quad Cortex booth. Soon.
Right.
Now, it's not lost on anyone that this is, some people are finding this highly ironic. That the people who are waiting on plug-in support for the QC find this hilarious or infuriating that it's soon after 3 years.
I was
And
really
did-
hoping to show up here
and
see that.
and so I thought they were going to be here,
Yeah.
and they're not. And there's some rumors going around NAMM of, they were here, but then they got upset. They got in a fight with NAMM, and then I don't know
No
about
way.
any of that. It doesn't make
No
sense to
way.
me because where would you come up with those letters? They're giant letters.
Right.
Soon with the
Right.
so they're obviously teasing something. So I'm going to speculate on what I think is going on because we had a conversation about new things, and I think they have something new in a big way, and I'll tell you why. I think it's a new hardware unit. So I think they're going to have a new hardware unit. They release plugins all the time. It's not a big deal. So it just has me going, well, you release plugins, you just put on your Instagram story sooner with the outline, and it builds some suspense, and then boom, download the plugin. The way you buy plugins, that's the best way to do it. You don't need to do. So it doesn't feel like they would do this for something so typical as releasing a plugin. They've also already told us we're going to get the store, the editor's going to come out of beta. We're going to get plugin integration. That's all on the roadmap. It's already announced. It also feels weird to bring attention to the fact that you're so behind schedule by going soon.
Right.
So I don't think they're pushing on that. So it leads me to go, what else is there? And I got to ask myself, do I think, okay, so I'm going to say, I think they got a new something. I think they're working on something. Now, their unit is best in class, I think. Touchscreen, everything. You can like something else better, but it's hard to argue that it's not. I think it's best in class level, whatever that means to people, right? Are they going to go bigger or smaller? I don't think they go bigger. They're more DSP than a lot of people. They're more flexible than a lot of people. Touchscreen. They have features that are beating the competition at the $16.99 price point.
They already have the most capable unit in this, like, in terms of like capabilities per cubic inch.
Yes.
They're already winning.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They're best in class.
Yeah.
They are competing with Fractal at a higher price point.
Right.
They're better than other things at their same price point.
Right.
Helix.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Helix. And the price of it, by the way, hey, there's another thing. The price of Helix, they lowered it. It is now $14.99.
Right.
All those retailers that are $200 off Helix, the new price is $14.99. That tells you they know. They know they're being outpaced.
Right.
Okay. So if I don't think it makes sense for QC to go bigger, I think it makes sense for them to go smaller.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. When they came out, they were the sweet spot in terms of size, where Helix is too big for a pedal board. It is the pedal board. Kemper Stage, little smaller, but still too big for a pedal board. And they dialed in this right in the middle unit. You could put it on a pedal board. You just needed a little bit of a larger pedal board to make it work, or just a couple pedals. But it also was big enough to just be used by itself.
Right.
But it wasn't too much. With Tonex, with UA, with the Kemper Player, I think, who does that hurt the most? I'll be honest, my anecdotal, I see a lot of people, I get emails. HW, I left Kemper. I was on some other things, Quad Cortex included, UA, whatever. Now the player's out. They go, I bought my profiles 2 years ago. I bought everything back. Can I have them back? Right? So it's like, you sold your Kemper with all my profiles. Okay, so we're duplicating, but whatever.
Right.
So I look at that person and I go, yeah. How about you? You want to upgrade to you want to get everything you missed for the past 2 years? And usually they're like, yes, they're back in the Kemper world because they wanted something smaller that integrated better.
The form factor.
I've got to think when QC came out, it was the best unit to integrate on a pedal board. And today, it's not even in the conversation.
Right.
That aspect of it.
Yeah, now
has
it's looked at as like
It's
the
one of the big
smallest
guys. Yeah.
standalone unit
Yes.
you can get.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't even think anyone's having that conversation because now it's just like standalone units are like pedal board standalones or little pedal board player units, kind of thing, for lack of a better term. HX Stomp. So it's like now it's two classes. When they came out, there wasn't the bottom class. Tonex wasn't out. Player wasn't out.
Yeah.
It was only HX Stomp, and that's easy to beat. So I think they go smaller. I do. I think they go smaller. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know any, but I think they've got to look at UA. They've got to look at Tonex and go, that's a part of the market. We have the app. We have the ecosystem. We've built the hard part. We can make hardware with this tech, put it out. We can get compatibility going down. Why would you buy the QC though? Why would you still buy the QC over that other unit if that's what a lot of people want? Plug-in support. My plugins go on the big unit, not the small one. We're separating feature sets like Kemper's doing, limiting effects and stuff.
That's actually a really good point. I was sort of not with you until you said that. I was sort of like, that sounds too good to be true.
Yes, because everyone's
to get a smaller unit, even if it's like
you don't want to cannibalize yourself. Everyone's in that balance,
right?
But I bet plug-in support will drop at the same moment the new thing drops, so that it eliminates the conversation about now why would I buy a QC?
Right.
Boom, QC with plug-in support, and you buy a QC, you get 2 free plugins. They're already doing that.
Oh,
and a lot of people are going, hey, I bought my QC 2 years ago, and now I'm
Right.
buying plugins, and I'm still waiting for integration. I bet you buy the QC now, and it comes with a plugin, comes with maybe 2 free ones. You can integrate them. Great value, even more value at the $16.99 price point.
Right.
The marginal, the margin on one more digital unit for them is effectively 0. Huge advantage, and you got the small guy come into our ecosystem, buy hardware from us. Thoughts?
I'm hopeful for that, man. I like everything
too.
you just said.
I love it
because
Yeah.
I'm really in. Yeah, I'm really in on everything
it.
that they're doing right
Yeah.
now. I love the plugins, and I think the Quad Cortex, like you said, best in class, like editor.
Yeah.
Or maybe I think you guys like the AxeFX editor more, maybe, but like best in class in terms
Yeah.
of like features on the
QC
thing.
has better UI, and it's beautiful. It's well done.
Yeah.
No shade on it.
Right.
You could say it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really in on everything they're doing, and if they do, I feel like that would be a big leap forward in a good way for them. So.
Right.
So does it do a lot less in your?
So that's what I'm wondering.
QC Lite?
Is it more HX Stomp, like maybe you get one line of DSP? Or is it Tonex style where you just get the amp?
Just get the amp.
I think what's the most important is the size.
Stereo.
If the size is down,
Oh, what if it? Yeah, because that's
they're going to do
Give
it.
Addison what he wants. please.
It will be stereo. Trust
be-
me, it will
it'll-
be stereo because
Absolutely
they
it
will
will.
be
Yeah,
looking.
absolutely.
I don't think they're going to get a price point lower than Tonex at $299.
Right.
And they're smart guys. I've gleaned from interacting with them. They are very smart.
Mm-hmm.
They know where they need to be in the market. $16.99, $15.99, whatever. They're going to look at the lower price point and go, we're going to be there with stereo. That's how we beat everybody.
Because look at
You
what
got
the
the
Quad
player.
Cortex.
Watch out.
Look
Yeah.
at what the Quad Cortex did when it came out. It was like basically like unlimited ins and outs.
Yes.
Like you can do
Yes,
whatever.
they were trying to blow
like
everybody
whatever
away.
everyone else does, we do 4 times as many.
They were trying to
You
blow
know?
everybody away,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get to NAMM right now. I'm calling the Uber.
Let's go.
This is
Sorry to-
happening in real
Right,
time.
right now, the Uber's on its way. It's 3 minutes. Everybody grab your stuff. I've been HW.
I've been Suze.
John 2.
Addison.
Right.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.